My name is Klaus Klingner, and I am working for Allianz Technology in the role of an IT security officer, specializing on web portals, web applications, and mobile apps, but starting to broaden my expertise here as I have just taken over the position of IT security officer within a business area. So I'm going to widen my area of activity. In addition, I'm also a specialist in for data privacy and am a member of the security awareness working group of the Allianz group worldwide. Well, basically, it's assessments, security assessments of services which we are consuming from providers or which we are rendering to our customers. I do security consulting, pen test preparation, and pen test result evaluations. Also trainings for developers, basically the normal security stuff. So, of course, when there's an incident, I'm also part of the incident response team. But luckily, we haven't had one of those lately. The value of my work for the company is compliance to national and international regulations. Of course, also compliance to internal regulations. I help to keep the company safe from outside or to some degree also from inside attacks. The work I do with the developers and our DevOps teams helps to ensure a high level of quality to the software that is being developed and delivered to the customers. I'm also helping to institutionalize and to improve the human firewall that is really getting a higher value, or it's really getting more and more important for companies that are working in home office and where employees are located all over the world. My favorite part is basically getting into contact with new technologies and learning about new stuff, learning about, okay, it may sound a bit strange, but also learning about new attack vectors, new attack technologies. It's also talking to people because there is so much to learn from the developers you talk to. There is so much to learn from other experts and also people from other companies. I really enjoy this networking, these discussions. Of course, sometimes even doing a game or two over the internet with them. It's really the diversity of topics that I like. I started out with ISO 27001 implementer certification about 6 years ago. And to that, I added the SANS GSEC certification around the same time. And this basically gave me a very good basis for my current work. And later on, I added the GWAPT, which is of SANS, which is the web application pen testing, because I, well, fairly regularly have to set up, evaluate pen tests. And from time to time, I even get to do some hacking myself. The certification which I value the most, though, is the CISSP, which I finally got at the beginning of last year. And the CISSP really gives you a very broad basis over all the different security domains that I get into contact with in my regular job. Because data protection is also playing a great part in my regular job. I've also been certified as a data protection officer by the TÜV Süd, which is a big certification company in Germany, and I'm also trying to keep current all the different changes with GDPR. So that's basically the certifications I currently have. Well, I believe cloud is becoming a bigger part in our infrastructure, in our daily life. And I believe also that cloud really is the future for companies to go. And so this is also a direction I'd like to develop towards. So I'm currently thinking about tackling the CCSK, the Certified Cloud Security Knowledge Certification. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that this year. In addition, I'd like to get there is a SANS certification for security awareness management. That would also be a certification I'd really like to take. The least favorite part is the paperwork. So, I mean, every big company has its processes and its workflows, and many of these workflows have different degrees of maturity, and so having to fill out forms or really following a process that I know is not working, but I have to do it. That's my least favorite part. Well, the pen
Um,
tests aren't really the bad thing. Even the reports for the pen tests, it's rather when it comes to compliance reportings and stuff like that, which is sometimes a bit. One of the major tools I use is, of course, Microsoft Office, starting from Outlook to manage the flood of mails every day. PowerPoint, Excel, and OneNote. In terms of other things, Archer, for example, is really a big tool which is also very common in big companies for security and compliance monitoring. If I do some pen testing, I usually use OWASP Zap or Burp Suite. Kali Linux is also a regular. Then if I do coding, I usually go with Visual Studio Code. Soft skills, I would say communication and presentation, because that's really a big part of my work, that I have to convince other people of certain facts, or that they should do or not do certain things, or do things in a certain way. So I believe social skills, and most important, I believe, is also being open to new things and listen to people. Because if people have the impression that you are not listening to them or to their concerns, they will close down immediately, and you will have a hard way of establishing a path of communication. Well, at the moment, my personal biggest achievement really is doing the CISS, or getting the CISSP. And if I look back, the biggest achievement really was being able to get into IT security or into IT without having studied IT on college or university. So basically doing the switch from my previous role as a veterinarian into the role of an IT expert. I believe that's what I think my biggest achievement so far. Well, if people are really interested in cybersecurity, um, I believe it is very, very important to get as broad as an IT education as possible, because it is always easy to tell people, no, you can't do that. It is much more difficult to tell people, no, you can't do it, but try it this way, offering alternatives. And it also makes you, it adds credibility to your role if people have the feeling you know what you are talking about, and beyond everything, have fun in your job. Because there is nothing worse than when you do a job that's not fun. And that's also what people always tell me. Um, I mean, I've had numerous roles in the past, but since I've taken over the IT security role, people tell me, well, this is really your calling, we believe. It's fun. We see that you have fun in this and that you're really interested in this. And if people feel that you are passionate about your role, then you really have found your place.